Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a Shelby on Safari special live stream with my friend Professor Dan. Good evening, Professor.
Evening. How I like the intro, Shell. It was nice. It was kind of like I was watching it. I was just thinking, where are we going? And then it's just like it's mid. It's just disappointment. Sorry about that.
No, not a disappointment at all. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the folks in the chat. I think we have a few of our favorite friends like Ems, Guzma, Robert. I've seen. Say hello if you are in the chat. It is great to see you. Oh.
Yeah,
I hear a feedback.
There. Let's go, Robin, as well. I like it. Let's go, Rob. Welcome in.
Oh. So many friends. Hey. It is going to be exciting to hear from you guys because tonight we are talking Lorcana. It is going to be an insane kind of new set. We have some spoilers from you guys. We're going to talk about the cool thing that Professor and Dan and I got invited to in London, show you guys some of the cards, but we also have some trivia. It wouldn't be a live stream without some trivia for you folks. So I hope you have your trivia hats on. But also D23 was last weekend, and amongst everything else, there's some Lorcana news that we got to talk about. Isn't that right, Professor?
Yeah, there was an absolute bunch of it dropping. We kind of had a bit of a... They said that they were going to kind of drop some big stuff, and they just kind of went to town on it. So yeah, a couple of cool things to cover for the D23 stuff for Lorcana for sure.
Oh, indeed. It's been a hoot. So folks in the chat, if you haven't already, say hello, but vote. I'm very curious to see what set of Disney Lorcana has been your favorite so far. I haven't put Shimmering Skies up because it's still relatively fresh. And also YouTube only gave me 4 options. So with that in mind, spoilers, Jack. Spoilers, Jack. I'm very excited. Professor Dan, can you give like an elevator pitch of what we got up to on Friday? Because it was an early morning start, but it was well worth it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was. It was an early morning start. So I think I ended up getting up around about 5 a.m. that day. So the idea is that we had to get to the store for 8 a.m. So made our way there. Met the amazing Shelby. We got a little cheeky coffee because when we turned up, we were expecting that there'd be a queue, right? We'd expect some queue. Not a queue like that. I mean, that kind of blew me away. So the Disney store on Oxford Street is like big store, right? Okay. So there was a queue around the store and about 2 streets down as well, to the point where they were just lining outside a shop. So it was absolutely crazy. So we turned up, we got there, it was about 5 to 8, and then they kind of shooed us through like the back door. We did a quick little kind of signature login, and then what was cool is that the setup was amazing. So we had a bit of a tour in terms of kind of what we were going to be getting up to. Walked all the way through the store. I'd only been to the Oxford Street store once before, and I think it was about 2 years ago. So it was a while since I'd actually been there. So it was amazing walking through it. I think one thing with a store is that they really capture kind of that, you know, like that feeling that you're in Disneyland. You know what I mean? So like we walked through the store, went down the bottom, got a chance to kind of pick up our kind of collection sets. Went over to Josham. I took my Rapunzel to get it signed because Josham's the artist for that card as well. And we got given the gold pins that were cool. I don't know if you've still got yours there, Cheryl.
Yeah, I have it here.
Really cool. So those are the chapter 1 gold pins. So they're pretty nice that everybody got those handed out. And then everybody got the Christoph promo card as well, which was nice. And obviously the artwork on that is Josham, and Josham was there. So if you were there and lucky enough, you could have got the signature there for Joe as well. So we did that as well. So it was brilliant. Honestly, it was an absolute kind of like amazing day. There was just loads to do. And I think by the time that we came out, I almost felt as if it was later than it should have been, because I think we wrapped up around about like 9:15, and we were walking around and we were like, oh, I'm a little bit hungry. I'm ready for lunch. But everything was breakfast menu. So we were like, okay, that's fine. We'll go with that. We'll just get some breakfast. So then we had a little sit. We had some breakfast. Me and Shell did some pack grips and back battles and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good fun. What a great day.
It genuinely did feel later, and I think you're right, because we were up so early to get into London and be there on time to get in. It did feel quite late, and I know some in the chat definitely we saw some of them there. Bless them. Please let us know in the comments if you were in that queue. Kind of tell us about your experience. It'd be great to hear about it from you guys as well. And I love, Dan, that you mentioned like entering the store, because I think I took it for granted living in Orange County, where the original Disneyland is. And the Disney stores growing up, there was a lot of them. And it was exactly that. It felt they played the music, they had all the plushies. It was like a little piece of Disneyland in a shop. Yeah. And when they all started closing, it was really sad. And so to be able to experience that Disney magic in the heart of London, like there's the buses, the underground, everything going by. But as soon as you step through those doors, the magic is real. There were statues everywhere of some of your favorite characters, like going down the stairs and seeing Goofy jumping out of the castle. Like, how fun was that?
Yeah, really, really nice touches. It's just, like I say, I think as well, when you first kind of walk in there too, you just instantly kind of feel as if like you've gone from outside to something else inside. And I feel like they've absolutely kind of like nailed that. But yeah, it was great all around. It was brilliant, to be fair. Jack's saying we need more Disney stores open again. Let's get a petition going. More Disney stores need to be open again.
Yes.
I agree with you. They did. There used to be obviously a lot more up. I remember the town that I grew up north was just a small little town that had a Disney store, and it was kind of that same vibe as well, So, and again, obviously, that closed down. But yeah, again, I mean, they absolutely nail it with the kind of the set out and stuff like that. So they know what they're doing. That's for sure. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, yes.
And do you know what was mad as well? The amount of people that were there, I think really for me showed exactly how big Lorcana is becoming. I know the app itself, I think the app has like 400k downloads already, which I just think.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, too right. And I mean, Mira's just said in the chat, so magical, love the Lorcana bunting. You're right, Mira. There was the bunting, there was like the stickers on the floor saying Lorcana this way and really highlighting. And I'm glad they had the stickers, because I don't know about you, Dan, but I got distracted by all the Disney merchandise fairly regularly down there. And we found the wishing well, like that was really cool as well. Those little magical touches in. So talking Lorcana, I know you got some good pulls. I do want to give a shout out to the lovely folks at Ravensburger and the Disney store who kindly gifted both Professor Dan and I a lovely Illumineers trove. And I think rumor has it, you had a better pull in your Illumineers trove than I did. Is that right, Professor?
See, I thought that you actually got something better when you sent me a message and you were saying, I think I've got one that I need to get graded. So I was like, oh, maybe she's pulled something like that's better than me. Because obviously we'd had the video shot already. So we knew what I knew what I'd got. And then I got the message from you. And then I think the video went live today, actually. The schedule went live today. And then I was like, I'm really interested what Shell actually pulled. I actually don't know. So it's the first time I've seen it. I know you've probably seen the Instagram already, so you kind of know that I got the Olaf. So I'll be interested to see what you got.
I'm afraid I didn't get an Enchanted. And I was hoping that, like, you do have fire. You pull fire. And for those of you that don't know Professor Dan, he is a legend over on Whatnot, and a legend across the world, one would say. But on Whatnot, you pull fire for everybody else. And it's really funny because I thought, okay, he pulls fire for everybody else, but can he pull fire for himself? And so I was like, well, the odds of an Enchanted, so I'm going to go with hedge my bets to say I got a nice hollow legendary with King Arthur. And I was really excited. And then you post on Instagram, I got the Olaf Enchanted. I was like, really?
Having said that, though, Shell, honestly, I actually think the legendary hollows are probably lower pull rate than the Enchanted. So you could say, I know they may not look you could say that you kind of won in that one from kind of the rarity pull perspective. Do you think it's really cool as well, Shell? You should see on the card that you've got like a raised ink now as well.
Yes.
The legendary. So that's just been added. So that wasn't actually on there. It was actually, we had the discussion and Guzma said they should add something else to the legendaries, and then they came out, and then it's hard to see there, but it's almost raised a little bit with some sort of resin over the top of it, over the character, so it gives it a little bit of look. So it's a really nice touch. They've added that onto the Holo Legendary and the normal Legendary as well. So I just think it's really cool that they've added that. A really nice touch. It just makes the card just kind of pop just that little bit
come that more alive. Yeah, I'm trying to find my Jafar because I pulled a legendary Jafar as well. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I put him casually in my Voltex binder. I don't think I did because I'm not that big of a fan of Jafar. I'm not going to lie. He really scared me as a kid. Where is he? I don't know where he's at. Oh, no, now I'm stressed. But I did want to say, actually, the artwork on the King Arthur, I love how it looks like he's on a typical British high street. Like that looks like Winchester or like Nantwich or some of the other like little villages that I've come to know and love on my travels. Like it totally looks very Tudor style. And the artwork continues down at the bottom of the card as well.
Yeah, and it kind of goes over as well. You know, you got the Arthur and it goes over onto the card as well. So that's really nice too. And with that resin over the top, it just makes the makes the card pop a lot more. So yeah, I like it. Shelby has a Stitches surfboard in the background. That's always the topic of discussion whenever we do a live. I think first time I saw it, I think I said the same thing as well. So yeah, I agree. I think Shelby has like one of the coolest room setups as well. And the amount of Ninetales and Vulpix behind it too. I mean, you know.
All over. Well, I'd like to highlight my Alolan Raichu that's on that surfboard because that was one of my favorite pickups from London Card Show. And I got some Disney stuff, but it's more up there. I have my Peter Pan hat. I should have wore it. Or actually, Dan, you'll appreciate this. Ready?
Yeah. Yes, let's go. Because we're all like that as well. Let's go.
I'm wearing my headphones, but it's my actual Indiana Jones hat from Disneyland that my best friend bought me on one of my birthdays when we went to Disneyland because I love Indiana Jones. And I don't wear it often, but when I do, I always do the hat trick because I'm like, I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to have to come now to London Card Show. Everyone's going to agree as well. Like, you have to bring that now to November. Do you know what I mean? So, well done for showing that off. Yeah.
So, with Shimmering Skies, there's been a few new things that have been released, and I thought we could do one of our quiz questions now, actually, because the lovely friends at Disney Lorcana and Ravensburger have introduced the family Madrigal from Encanto. So I got some Disney trivia for you, and it'd help if I showed you guys the screen. So chat, you know the drill. We're going to have 4 options for you guys, A, B, C, or D. And in the chat, we need you to vote which one you think it is. So speaking of the family Madrigal, which animal starred in Louisa's song in Encanto? Was it toucans, capybara, donkeys, or jaguar? It's a pretty interesting song, and they may actually be in one of her cards in the set, I would say. So if you do collect Lorcana, but you've not seen Encanto, you might know from the cards. But Dan, I wanted to ask you, because September, you and some of our friends in the chat are going to be going, is it Birmingham? I think.
Birmingham, yeah, they're playing a Lorcana challenge in Birmingham, yeah. So that was good, actually, Shell. Well done. That was actually I'm surprised as well. That's pretty good. So yeah, no, we're headed down there. Me, Guzma, and I think there's a bunch of other people that are going to be there as well, just from the community too. But we're going in September, to play in the Lorcana challenge. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens with the meta because these new cards have shaken stuff up big time. So we're kind of waiting on seeing what decks that we're going to be playing there. So yeah, a lot of practice of Lorcana is going to be happening over the next couple of weeks in preparation for that because we got to get the Mickey. We said already, that gold Mickey. We've got to have one in the community somewhere. I've said this already. I don't care who gets it. We've got to have one at least. So yeah.
Would that Mickey be worth grading, or would it just be like a prized collection card? Like what if you got one, what would you do with it?
It's a difficult one. I think if I was going to grade it, I'd have to go and drop it off myself. There's no way I think I would trust to ship that anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Or trust anybody to ship it. Do you know what I mean? So I think that I'd maybe just make the travel over there, or wrap it into something else that's going on, and then just drop it off with a grading company so I could get one done there. So I think that's what I would do. Yeah, I wouldn't send it in the post, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't trust the post in the nicest way possible. Not offending anyone if you're a postman, but yeah, the Golden Mickey, as Jack says, it's worth dying for. Okay, you sound like Olaf when you say that, or worth melting for. Daniel says we want Buzz Lightyear. Well,
yes.
Daniel, well, hold your horses, Space Ranger, because rumor has it, isn't that right, Dan? Pixar is finally coming to Lorcana.
Yeah, so it's going to be a year off. So it's going to be coming in 2026, but it's going to include kind of characters, items, and songs as well. So they're literally tapping into now to another huge amount of kind of IP for them to play with about in Lorcana. So I think that maybe the reason why it's at 2026 is because there's already probably a plan all the way up into 2026 for the sets that are going to be coming out for Lorcana. So it's really huge news that Pixar coming to Lorcana. So you're going to see some of the favorites in there. Buzz Lightyear, Sully, I mean, Wall-E, The Incredibles. There's so much there where it's just some of the cards are going to be insane. And for a fact, they're going to have a Buzz Lightyear Enchanted. So Dan, I know exactly what you're saying. I think Pixar will be massive for it as well. So yeah, no, really excited for that news. So one of the bigger pieces of news that they announced there at D23 too. So what's the answer, Shell? What is it?
Well,
I know what it is.
Jack knows what it was. He pretty much shouted it from the rooftops. It is indeed donkeys. So donkeys do play a part in her song very prominently, but also I love that in Lorcana, in the artwork, they've added the donkeys with Louisa. Some of her cards have the donkeys in it, and I find that absolutely hilarious. Such a good song, such a cracking, like the songs from Encanto just hit different, I think. Obviously, Lin-Manuel Miranda, the genius that is him, had a part in it, but like they really, like as a big sister, that song really spoke to me, and I was like, I get it, Louisa, I get it. Well, with that, folks, I want to know the next question as we move along. I'm very excited because Mulan has been playing a part, and Mulan was and is one of my favorite characters and favorite films, but I have to ask an animal question. How many animal companions does Mulan have? Now, I'm going to preface and say animal, both real and a lizard, but he doesn't do that tongue thing. If you know the quote, you know the quote. And I realize that sounds really awkward, but like, yeah, we all know what Mushu. We all know I'm talking about Mushu. So fair. I'm including Mushu in that. So yes, let us know in the chat, A, B, C, or D. Wow, Jack, that's a great idea of a Randall from Monsters, Inc. That would be really cool. Where he's really like cool. Mid-transition from like blending in, and I can see it.
Well, they've got to have the villains as well, they've got to have the heroes, they've got to have the villains, so you can expect like the whole kind of plethora of things from all those IPs. So it's going to be so cool. So yeah, a Randall would be really nice. They could do so much with that Enchanted as well. So whatever artist gets that one, I hope they smash it out of the park. Speaking of smashing out of the park, the Mulan card there, the Elite Archer, so nice as well. This card, it was actually in the Queen's PvE set as well. So you got like a special, it's not on this one, but there was like a special kind of border for it that was only in that set. So the card's really, really nice. Super clean card. Artwork is amazing. I think the artist is Nicola on this one. And she's done a couple too. So this one's really cool.
Oh, well, Ems, unfortunately, it's actually 4, technically speaking. So we got Con, her horse, which, by the way, really embarrassing, and I can't believe I'm going to admit this. I loved Mulan so much, and I was an avid boogie boarder, or bodyboarder, depending who you ask. I named my boogie board Con after the horse from Mulan. That's how much of a fan I was. And yes, that's embarrassing, and I'm going to pretend I didn't say that. So we have Con, we have Mushu, we have Cricky, and Little Brother. Her little dog. Those are the 4 that I would count. Obviously, it depends because, like, Little Brother, she pretty much left behind for the entire movie, to go save China. But technically 4. But well done. So, Dan, I wanted to ask you very, very different question. You don't know I'm going to ask this, but one of the things they released at D23 for Disney's Lorcana is, I want to say, a cult classic film, but I don't really know that many people that are like, I think are as hyped about it as I am, because it's based on a book series, and it was my favorite book series growing up. And the movie, I feel, doesn't do justice to the book series, but I'm really excited for these characters. Do you have an idea of what film? It didn't get a sequel, even though the book series, there's like 4 of them.
So I think the film was 1985. So I think that is a while ago it came out. So we're talking about the Black Cauldron, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes! So I agree with you. I think, like to say, it's such a cool. It's a big kind of like fan favorite as well, because it's quite dark in terms of kind of like its setting and stuff like that. So the fact that those cards are coming in, I think, is really exciting. So it would be amazing to see what they do with that art as well, because I think, like you said, yes, it's based on kind of the books and then the film, which again, I get it. The way that they brought it to the screen. I think everyone was as happy with it, but I think that this gives a really good chance for people who love the idea of that dark fantasy, the Black Cauldron, now being able to see it in Lorcana, giving it to the artist as well to put like a new spin on it, I think is insane. So yeah, that set, 100%, I agree. It's one of my favorites as well. So when I heard the
I'm getting chills just thinking of Princess Eilonwy. She's like one of my favorites, like in the book series. She's like no nonsense. And I'm like, yes. But the Horned King, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Leave it to me to just think of all like the fun heroes. But the Horned King, he's totally like super scary villain. Like those cards are gonna be incredibly
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I'm excited as well. It'll be because they'll probably stick to kind of some of that original kind of artwork, that very much hand-drawn theme. But it would be nice to see as well, maybe a little bit kind of like a newer style as well. Do you see what I mean? So I think stay true to kind of the original, because they've been great at doing that within the characters themselves, but also kind of just add a little bit to the artwork as well. Because the backgrounds, I don't know if you notice on all the cards as well, they smash it. On almost every single card, the backgrounds are just so amazing. So and like say dark fantasy, there's so much background. So I think it's incredible. There you go. Yeah. I mean, look how amazing that hyena
like the hyenas in the background.
Because like I said, when you look at a card like that, you kind of think, exactly where that probably is. Like, it's probably outside the cave, just as he's about to go in. Do you see what I mean? And it's all, do you know what I'm saying? Just in front of him is the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's really, really, really cool.
Really sets the mood. Now, I'm biased about this next question for our friends, because I know it's one of your favorites, and it is a beautiful film by any means. And I think I put this card up because I think you've pulled this one. Am I right?
Yeah, we've pulled the Robin Hood.
Pulled the Robin Hood.
Yeah, we pulled the Robin Hood. Prince John is in the set as well. So yeah, this should be quite an easy one. And there's actually a really nice new Prince John in the new set for Sapphire. So that card is seeing a little bit of play. So any of the Lorcana people, they should get this one pretty easily.
They should though. I thought I'd ease them into it, and all of them are kind of revolving spoilers around like Shimmering Skies. And you're right, there is a really funny Prince John one. But in the chat, let us know what animal is Prince John, and is he a bear? Is he a lion? Is he a snake? Or is he a fox? So Dan, is Robin Hood one of your favorite Disney animated films then? Because it is quite a classic.
I do like it, but I also like as well, which is also just tying into kind of some of the D23 news as well, actually. I loved Pocahontas. I know it when I was growing up, like I remember having it on VHS and playing it on VHS. So it's amazing that Pocahontas is going to be coming in. So I think she's kind of one of the Disney princesses that hasn't had a card yet. So we're going to be seeing, obviously, the Pocahontas Enchanted as well. So yes, loved Robin Hood as well. And then the likes are kind of like Pocahontas as well. So it's good to see that coming in as well to the cards too. But yeah, I mean, look at it. Look at the artwork on it. It's insane. It's so cool, man. It's so cool. You can't really see it there, but the artwork has really got that kind of paintbrush effect on it. Do you see what I mean? So the style of the card is really nice too. And that's what's really cool, is that the style of the cards are quite stylistic, but every card is a little bit different. They haven't just gone, we're just going to have this type of art style and then go with that. Do you see what I mean? There is a variety in there, and especially with the enchanted cards, they just kind of throw it all out the window and just go crazy on them. So this is a really kind of good example of that. But even in this one, I know the background's quite basic, but you can just get the feel. You know where he is. He's probably like mid-adventure, mid going through kind of, the castle tunnels and stuff like that. So again, I think they do really well to kind of capture the, capture the moment of the character as well. So really cool card.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's good. We put this twice actually.
Oh, look at you rascal. Pull, leave some for the rest of us. And yeah, that was really fun, actually. Shout out to Abby from Ravensburger. When we were waiting to get our cards signed, we actually were chatting with her, and we asked, like, which character, which film do you want to see to Lorcana? And she said Pocahontas. And we're like, oh my gosh, that'd be brilliant. I think she knew. I feel like she had a spoiler and was hinting to us. I don't know. That was it was just pretty well timed because the announcement came that night. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. And the Pixar thing as well. So when we had Matt on the stream a couple of months ago, I said, oh, yeah, I feel like they're going to bring Pixar to it. And Matt was like, oh, well, it's a different kind of thing. I said, yeah, I know, but it kind of makes sense. So when they announced that, I sent him a quick message. I went, right, now I know your tells when you lie. So next stream's going to be quite funny. So get ready for some tough questions on that one. So yeah, really cool.
Be sure to invite him to the next poker match at LCS as well. I think that could come in handy now that you know that secret trick for Matt. And Ems has it right. Indeed, Prince John is a lion. I feel like this is a nice nod to his older brother, Richard the Lionheart. So keeping lions in the family, but lions are also quite regal. In fact, one of my favorite things, sorry, not to talk too much on history, but one of my favorite places to visit is the Tower of London. And that was where royalty would house gifts that were given by other royal member families around the world. And so they actually had lions at the Tower of London, and many of the animals that were housed at the Tower of London eventually did move to ZSL London Zoo, which is in Regent's Park. But yeah, I find that absolutely bizarre that they kept lions at the Tower of London. But yeah, quick little history nugget for you there, Mr. Dan.
Cool little fact. I didn't know that. So yeah, you're always full of these good facts, Shell. Whenever I feel like I talk to you, I feel like I learned something. Do you know what I mean? It's always good to have a friend like that. Whenever you learn something, that's always a good sign. There you go.
I feel like we need like a pub quiz team.
Yeah, well, you'd carry it. Do you know what I mean? And then I probably know like the most odd question, the answer to it, and then I'll feel like I contributed a little bit. So I feel like it could work.
Well, you know sport, I imagine, because like you're a boxer, you probably know about British sport than I do. And there's a lot of sport questions usually in pub quizzes, or so I'm told.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I'd be great at it. You're right. Yeah.
Let's do it. Chat, join us for a pub quiz. We'll do a pub quiz one day. I have a few more questions before we actually head over to Whatnot, because I thought it would be fun for us to hang out here, talk about D23, see some of the cards from Shimmering Skies, and just be excited. There's a few more cards that I have of holos that I can show you guys if you've not opened much of Shimmering Skies yet. But one of the best new cards to come to it, in my total non-biased opinion, is Brother Bear. They have released both Kenai, Coda, and the Moose, and some of his family as well. And I want to know your Brother Bear knowledge, chat. Kenai's totem was the bear of what? So when he was given the totem, it was a bear. You would kind of hope so, given the name of the movie is Brother Bear. But it's the bear of blank. What is it? Is it love? Is it strength, courage, or wisdom? Let us know in the chat. Now, Dan, have you seen Brother Bear? Is Brother Bear on your radar? Like, there's no judgment here if you've not, because I know it is.
I've seen Brother Bear. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
What do you think of the Moose? Because the Moose are very Canadian.
So what I like about Disney, they always put like the character, like the extra character, that like you got the Pascals and stuff like that. If you know it, then the Olafs, there's always something in a Disney film where there's like, oh, that's kind of like the animal, the fun animal or the funny animal.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think it's really cool. It follows classic Disney writing. So yeah, and the film was great as well.
And they actually did a sequel, and this was back in the age when like a lot of the sequels were direct to VHS or DVD when we got older. And I'm gonna have a hot take here. I actually didn't mind the Brother Bear sequel. I know some people really loathe it, and I get it. The sequels, there's very few and far between where the sequels are almost as good as, if not better, than the original. I think of Monsters University. I really liked Monsters University on par with Monsters Inc. But yeah, so let's see. Charlie says C. Anybody else? Any other ideas? We'll give you guys a moment or two. So Jack, you like Disney films, but Pixar is what you watched a lot of. That explains the Buzz Lightyear. What's your favorite Pixar film then, Jack? Dan, what's your favorite Pixar film if you had to choose?
That's difficult, really hard. I think I'm gonna have to go with Toy Story 1, just because again, it's got nostalgia for me. Do you know what I mean? I remember buying. I said to you in the Disney store as well because we saw the Buzz Lightyear toys, and I said, "Wow!" I said, "Seeing that," I said, it kind of just gives me a massive flashback to when I was little when I got it. Do you know what I mean? And everything seems smaller now as well because you've got to remember. Obviously, I was just little, right? So I remember holding this Buzz Lightyear in this like spaceship box. I was like, I think I've completed life. Do you know what I'm saying? Just like this is the happiest moment ever. So yeah, it's really cool. So I'm gonna go with Toy Story 1. Gotta say it. Wally's amazing as well. Wally's just incredible too. Op is amazing. There's too many. That's such a difficult question, that one. So I don't know. It's a hard one.
I feel like it depends on like your mood, like for the nostalgia versus something happy. I mean, I can't hear at D23. I watch some of the panels like for the experiences because I really love the parks. And they started playing the tune Remember Me from Coco. And like, no joke, 3 seconds in, I could feel like water escaping from my eyes because I was like, oh, not that song. It's so emotional. But yeah, I gotta say, I love that you had a Buzz because I had Woody. Woody was I had like you had the Buzz toy. I had the Woody and I brought him everywhere. And I wrote Shelby.
Did you write Shelby on the Yeah, nice. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, I think everybody did that. Do you know what I mean? It was like the first thing you wanted to do is like get a Sharpie. Mum, have you got a Sharpie so I can write my name on the foot like the film?
And they're like, what are you gonna draw on it for? It's really expensive. Don't be drawing on your toy. I was like, but Andy did it. Oh, well, folks, Key and I's totem was actually the bear of love. And Key and I was just like, what? Bear of love, that's lame. And then entering the entire story of Brother Bear, where he learns about love and family in a very interesting way. So spoilers, if you've not seen it, I don't want to give spoilers, but indeed it was the Bear of Love. Yeah. All right, last question. Because Iago also, for our Lorcana friends, he has a card in which it shows him in camouflage. So if you are up on your Lorcana cards, you will know this one. But it's also in the film. Which animal did Iago camouflage as to spy on Prince Ali? So in the palace, Iago, subtly, as subtle as Iago could be, was camouflaged as what? Let us know in the chat. Jack mentions Big Hero 6, and you have Big Hero 6, the song We Can Be Heroes, on your playlist over on Whatnot, and I jam out every time I hear it.
That's a
fabulous
great film.
Tune.
Brilliant film. Again, that is just like an amazing example of kind of like a Disney movie as well. You've got the comic relief is amazing. You've got the Big Hero 6 in it, which is like that comedy where the comedy is kind of like it's actionable. Do you know what I mean? They don't even need to speak sometimes. It's always based on like little fun actions and stuff like that. So yeah, I love Big Hero 6. I think that's an absolutely amazing movie. Might be up there as well, actually. Might be up there as one of my favorites. I haven't seen it in ages too. But it's such a good film, that.
Oh, well, guys, before you guys answer this question, hopefully some of you will take a gander as to what it may be. I have a feeling everybody's like flipping through their Lorcana cards trying to see what the answer is. And fair play to you as well. I've recently, thanks to the kind gift, have started using these lovely kind of separators to divide out and organize my decks for Lorcana. I've not yet tried playing, but I've been inspired by Dan and Zinguzma to maybe give it a go. My local comic book shop has invited me to learn how to play, so I think I might take them up on that. But yeah, I've been using the Lumineers Trove to separate them out. Dan, out of curiosity, what is your deck at the moment? Because it's comprised of two. Are you hesitant to say because of our friends in the chat?
No, so I think what I'm looking at the moment, so I've done some play. It's just I feel like meta's going to shift and change a little bit, but at the moment I am playing mainly silver and green, and blue and red. Blue and red, silver and green. I'm kind of picking which one I'm going to kind of hyper focus on, because I feel like I need to maybe hyper focus on one and then just get really good at that and just learn it inside out. So at the moment it's between blue and red and silver and green, because both are really good. Like, so we had the Prince John before. The Prince John card in there in the green set at the moment is just like really, really strong. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. So yeah, I think at the moment it's going to be red, blue, or silver, and silver and green is what I'm going to go for. So yeah, hopefully it'll see me through, and maybe we can get to day 2. And what's really, really cool as well at the D23, they announced, because we speculated this too, that the World Championships or the actual kind of European Championships, so after the qualifications, they're going to be at the Disneyland Paris resort. And then in North America, the championships are going to be in January, and they're going to be at kind of like the Disney area. And then they're going to have the Disney Lorcana Challenge World Championship. That's going to take place 2025 at Disney World Resort. So that is going to be insane. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be really, really good. So those are really exciting news. So we need to qualify just so we can get that trip over to Disney. But I feel that we might head out there anyway, just because the vibe check is going to be absolutely amazing for that. So that's going to be good. Maybe some exciting news for that coming maybe next year. So we'll see. I'm waiting for Dan to tell me what deck to use in September. To be honest with you, M's a really good player. Really good. So we used to play a lot. We used to play together a lot. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because me, M, and Guzma, we may end up playing each other at this event as well. So that'll be quite interesting. Do you see what I mean? So I've said, listen, I'm not going to go easy on anybody. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Not with that Mickey card on the line. No, all bets are off. Oh, 100%. Well, maybe you could go in disguise like Iago did, and he actually went in disguise as a flamingo. He was on stilts, and he had a very more elongated beak. And I love, again, that Disney Lorcana has highlighted some of those bizarre and probably not common scenes from the films that you think of, like that of, you know, Iago looking absolutely ridiculous trying to be a flamingo. But yeah, so that's it for our quiz questions. And Dan, any kind of bit of advice for anyone maybe that's new to Lorcana? Where would you start? Would you start with the starter deck or just start ripping packs? Like, what would be your piece of advice for someone looking to get in?
So I think that the good thing about Lorcana is that it's so easy to get into. Okay, it's really, really easy to play. It's easy to get into. So I would say there's a new set called the Gateway set that came out for Shimmering Skies, and it gives you everything. So you get like the play mat, you get the counters. So I think that set is really good if you're looking at just playing kind of like with a friend or with a partner. Grab that set and just have some fun with it. The starter decks are awesome as well. The starter decks give you like a nice, you know, deck that you can play with if you want a little bit of variety. But my biggest piece of advice is just pick it up and play it. It's so easy to pick up. And then if you really enjoy it, maybe start looking at some of the competitive deck lists that are available kind of online. There's plenty of websites out there where you can kind of get the deck lists and you can kind of build them and put them together. So again, yeah, pick up one of the gateway sets or pick up some of the starter decks and just have some fun with it. It's such an easy game to pick up and play. So that would be my advice.
Oof. See, I'm tempted. I'd be biased where I'd want to create a deck around some of my favorite characters. So my Vault Binder currently is pretty much a lot of my favorite Rapunzel cards. And yes, Charlie, if it's the Charlie I'm thinking of, I'm still after the Hollow Frying Pan as well. But like, would that be, I guess, because I'd be playing for fun, like, could you do that? Could you just pick like your favorite characters and just like,
I don't think, honestly, I don't think it's mad. As long as you got 60 cards in your deck, I think it's still, I think it's still a fun thing. I think as well, obviously you got the competitive scene of it, and then obviously you have the casual fun scene of it. I think one of the great things about it is that you have the ability to mix up 2 of your favorite inks as well. So you need to have like 2 inks in your deck. So just put whatever cards in there. I built a deck of the hyena deck, and I was building it yesterday, and because I love the new hyena, so I built the hyenas with Scar, and then I had a Mufasa in there, and I was just like, this is such a cool theme deck. Do you know what I'm saying? It's really cool with some synergy in there. Is it? Could it be competitive? Probably not. But it does it matter? Probably not. Would I play it on a casual game? Absolutely. So yeah, I don't think it matters either way. Do you know what I mean? Just play what you enjoy.
That is a great piece of advice. I think I am going to go for it. And Em's mentioned Hercules. There's a lot of love for Hercules and some beautiful cards from that set. And I just can't wait to see what they continue to treat us with. I know Shimmering Skies is the newest set that's released. Hopefully you guys have managed to get your hands on it in some of the hobby stores. It will be released later on this month, wider, but then a few months later in November, I heard, is the next set that's coming out. Already, we're spoiled. We are spoiled for Lorcana this year.
Yes, we should get one more set within this year, and the set name, world exclusive, is I'm not telling you. I don't know. Hold on. You know, that would have been good, wouldn't it? Sorry, guys, I don't know what to say. So yeah,
even I was like, "Oh no, is he going to?"
I was like, no. So yeah, so that'll be cool. But we did get to see one of the cards though, because one of the cards of the new set is in the D23 collection set, which is the Oswald. So we do kind of get an idea maybe where that artwork is going to be going. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it was cool.
Jack is calling for me to kick you out from the call. Fair play, Jack. And actually, to be fair, we probably do need to head over because we got to go cause some trouble on Whatnot. So what's happening over on Whatnot? You can't quite be selling Shimmering Skies yet, but I think you got some other Lorcana goodies for everybody.
Yeah, so we're going to do a double break. So we're going to do Inklands, Ursula. So we got 2. I think we're going to run 2 of those. And then we have, hopefully, we're on box 4. Okay. So generally, that should mean there's a high chance of Enchanted, but not guaranteed. So we're going to see how it goes. It'll be amazing to get an Enchanted tonight to pull it out of there. So, and then we're going to run some Ursula as well. And we got, we're going to do a giveaway of D100. So we've got some D100 stuff as well to give away too. So we'll do that. We'll probably be live in the next kind of 15, 20 minutes over there.
Excellent. I popped the link in the chat. So if you guys aren't already a part of the Professor Dan crew, click that link, head on over, and you can watch the stream live, watch Dan pull some fire. And I think one of the greatest things, and the guys mentioned it earlier in the chat, the community. I think it was Mira, actually. Amazing. She was saying how it's such an amazing community. So if you're new to Lorcana, or it's not quite payday, like there's no pressure for you to come over and like buy packs. You can literally just sit, watch, listen, and see these beautiful cards be pulled and be excited for everybody else when Dan pulls that Enchanted. Because I think tonight, if it can happen, which it has, and you've shown us over on your Instagram, you can pull the fire. I think it's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, I hope that we get it. I hope so. This has been really fun, Shell. We need to do this more often. I said as well to the Guzma, maybe we need to do this kind of like a regular thing where we can talk about Lorcana and the cards that are coming up and stuff like that. So hopefully we can do some more of this because this was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and thank you, chat, for being involved as well and interacting. It makes it so much more fun. And for playing along with the trivia, you know, there's so much Disney love out there, and it's fun to like test that little bit of knowledge, and your guys' knowledge is up there. And I can't wait with the upcoming sets. You know, I'm looking forward now. I'm going to have to start thinking of some good Toy Story questions and Monsters, Inc., because that seems to be the favorite. And Hercules for M. I'm sure we can come up. Well, guys, we're going to head over to Whatnot. Click that link in the chat to come on over. Again, no pressure to buy. Come just hang out. Join the chat over there. Watch some cards being pulled and get you, if you want to get some Lorcana, might as well, especially if you're going to be competing for that golden Mickey. Looking at you, Guzma. And yeah, where is your room, Dan? Everybody's worried about your room, Dan.
Don't worry, it's vanished. Hang on, chat. 1 second. I'll sort it, right? Okay, there we go.
After all, you got to get in the car, right? You got to get in the car to head over to the room.
Yeah, we have to get in the car. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Jump in there right now, actually. Jump in there for 5 minutes.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Professor Dan, for hanging out with me. It is so fun to be able to chat with a friend. Again, want to give a shout out to Ravensburger and David Store, Disney Store. Oh, the mouse is going to kill me. Disney Store UK and Ravensburger for kindly inviting Professor Dan and I to the Oxford store to get Shimmering Skies, and of course the D23 set. Head on over to Professor Dan's Instagram if you've not already joined, so you can see the D23 set in action. It is absolutely stunning. In fact, I'll put a cute little banner now. There you go. If you're not following him, go there. Go and follow him.
Thanks, guys.
Dan,
Appreciate
any
it.
final words for our friends before we head off?
No, that's it. Keep enjoying Lorcana, and maybe we'll do some more of these streams as well. But yeah, it'd be cool to see you over and whatnot. And like Shell said, never any pressure to buy. Just come see the cards get opened as well, or join the community over there. Honestly, I know I'm a little bit biased, but I believe we've got the best community over and whatnot, and maybe in the Lorcana community altogether. I'm just going to say it as simple as that. But listen, Shell, honestly, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. This was really fun. Let's do it again.
Excellent. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you over on Whatnot. Bye.
Take care. Bye. 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 Bye.